So typically about once a week, we attempt to find the time to fill up this case over here. Typically we do about 4 to a row. We like to try and keep it separated. Republic separatists down here, some randoms in the middle, like there's some Mandalorian Death Watch troopers right here, and then Rebellion and Imperial stuff up top. I will say that if you are looking for Republic and or Separatist stuff, Republic especially, that tends to sell the fastest. So we do our best to keep this thing stocked up, but it's not as easy as you'd think. Because who's getting rid of an entire Black Series collection all at one time? Not everyone. But it's a cool process. It's fun. So not all the time do we get figures in that are complete, which is fine because there are people that look for a Revenge of the Sith Anakin all the time. Missing his lightsaber, no big deal. Somebody will buy him. This is the archive version. You can tell by the date on the feet. The original would say 2013 or 2014. This one does not have a date, so it's the later release, which is kind of cool. Most companies just keep the same exact mold, but Black Series, for some odd reason, are missing that date stamp if they're the later release figures, which is a great way to tell. This one's missing his lightsaber, no big deal. Somebody will walk in here and they'll have to have it. Now, the most expensive / sought after figure that we do have in the Black Series case is this Republic Commando Scorch. This figure right here is very neat. For those of you that don't know, Republic Commando is a game that came out for Xbox, produced by Microsoft back in 2005, I believe, might have been 06. One of the best games that has ever released for Star Wars. It was phenomenal. It focuses on Delta Squad, which is made up of 4 clones, Commando Boss, which is the leader, Scorch, demolitions expert, fixer, and Sev, who was their sniper. Sev is my favorite clone of all time. However, he's not the most expensive out of this group. Scorch had an appearance that was in Star Wars The Bad Batch on Disney+. He is the only clone that has reprised his role from a very short appearance in the Clone Wars. Super cool figure for them to produce. Everybody loves their clone commandos. Delta Squad is one of the most fascinating groups of characters in all of Star Wars, in my opinion, if you include the expanded universe / Legends content. Outside of the Black Series case, which is something that we just filled up, just worked on, I think what I'd like to do is probably walk you guys around the Star Wars section and just give you kind of an insight on how we put things out around here. So on this wall right here, you'll see carded vintage collection figures. This is like the penultimate 3 3/4 scale figure for Star Wars. If you ever want to get the best version of something, the vintage collection is where you go for it. We do have $10 beaters over here. Beaters are vintage figures that we don't necessarily think look good enough or are not in the best of shape to get a weapon to them. As anybody who collects these knows, weapons are the more difficult thing to run across. You see figures all the time. So we tend to hold weapons for figures that are worthy of them, which end up going in here. Right here, what we have is a section for loose, complete figures. Sometimes we'll stick out figures that are incomplete, such as these Ewoks, Dulocks up here. Neither of them have their respective accessories. However, they're cool enough to where somebody would purchase them without them. But we typically have an area for more expensive, harder to find figures, and then the rest kind of split up for like episode 4, episode 5, episode 6 kind of stuff. Kelly works on these in the back, and he'll come out and he'll fill up areas as it goes. Every now and then he'll come out here and plug in a few holes. Got some 12-inch vintage figures down here. Got some random merchandise for vintage things such as Ben Cooper costumes and some blanket and sheet sets. We do have some carded figures over here, carded vintage figures over here. Got some pretty sweet pieces. We have had quite a few fine new homes. We don't get them in super often. They're not crazy common to run across here. I'm sure other stores get them more frequently than we do, but we're lucky to get the ones that we do, and we don't really complain about it. We do have buckets of random $5 figures for you guys. Down here are 2 examples of that. Most of it is filled up with like Power of the Force. There's some Saga stuff, some of the later like Power of the Jedi, things of that nature. Like whenever we have collections come in and we can't risk taking up space with certain collections of Star Wars figures, certain lines of Star Wars figures, what we'll do is open them, throw them in a $5 baggie, and let you guys have fun rummaging around and have at it. We have a lot of vintage stuff in these cases right here. Don't mind Liam, he's cleaning up and putting together a Megazord. We have some vintage pieces for you guys in here, such as a Millennium Falcon, TIE Interceptor, Battle Damage TIE Fighter. Pretty cool. Some more little merchandise here, some buttons and pins, and got a little Jabba's Palace display down there. It's not full, we've sold a lot out of it, unfortunately. So it's not the best looking for you guys at the moment, but it is a cool piece. You can get that Dio in the back from the Power of the Force line that came out in the 90s. It's a very cool display. That one happened to be made for us by a customer, and it was gifted to us, so no, it's not for sale. We get asked that all the time. Coming over here, we have a Star Destroyer playset, some X-Wings. This one is a Palatoy example. This one's from the UK. You can tell by the chrome R2 on the back. It's just a pretty cool distinction. We got a couple of Y-Wings in here for you guys. They are complete and they do work. Pretty awesome. We got a great collection of micro collection from 1982 in at one time. We found a lot of them at home, which is great. It's an awesome thing to find at home, but we do have quite a bit of pretty cool examples left for you guys. Some in the box, some out of the box. Got some larger Black Series stuff down here that we couldn't fit in the case over there. Got a B-Wing right down here. This is one of my favorite Rebel vehicles. It's just neat. It's super weird looking. It's obscure. Pretty cool. Got a droid factory, got a Dagobah, snow speeders. Here, I'd like to point out that we have 2 AT-ATs at the moment. They are both complete and they work. Very odd to find even one complete and working in any kind of store that you walk into. We do have 2 First Order TIE Fighters for Black Series. That's something that you don't see super often. You'll run across one, but you won't see 2. We got 1 loose and we got 1 sealed in the box if you want a brand new one. We have a lot of micro stuff over here. This is just a mix. This is Micro Machines, this is Action Fleet, this is Micro Galaxy Squadron. There's all kinds of stuff in here for you. If you like the little hollows that come in the figures from the 30th anniversary line, I believe it was either that or the Saga, then you can come in here and grab those. Everything over here, unless marked otherwise, really is not that expensive, and they're cool. They don't take up a lot of space. Over here, we'll have modern figures that are not the vintage collection. Now, we do have some runoff, but if you like the Clone Wars stuff, the Legacy stuff, 30th anniversary, Saga, things of that nature, you'll want to come in and check these out. And then over here, we have some loose modern vehicles, kind of line it up with Black Series figures that either don't have a peg or don't have a hanger to go on a peg, or it broke off or whatever. So we line up the case back here because on the other side we have Lego, so we kind of like try to keep the distinction between the two. And then we have a whole bunch of loose vehicles for you guys. This actually is a very good multi-purpose shelf that we've figured out a spot for these. We used to put all the loose vehicles just kind of scattered around, but they tend to fit pretty well over here and people like to see them and they find a home pretty often. So something that you might have noticed above me is this chrome HasLab Razor Crest. Now this is not an official HasLab. It is resin casted from an official HasLab. This was a project that somebody took on in their home. They just did a resin cast and they did it in vac metal. Super cool piece. It is awesome. It is for sale. It would be great for this to find a home. It's cool. We got it from a gentleman in the Georgia Alliance of Star Wars Collectors group. His name's Narayan, and he bought it from the original maker. It's a pretty sweet piece, but in case anybody was ever walking in here and they go, what the heck is that? I just wanted to clarify that for you guys. You'll see on this back wall up here, we have a bunch of sealed vehicles. Now, not all of those are sealed. If you look at the vintage boxes, those are just the boxes. We do price and put out boxes and vehicles separately. We learned a long time ago that there are a very minuscule amount of people that collect the boxes in here. So we decided to separate them, and we sell vehicles very commonly. Don't sell boxes as well, but they are available for those who would like to take them home. Before ending the video, I would like to say thank you for giving us a watch. Please subscribe, like, and comment on all of our social media platforms. We do have a link tree available for you guys in the bio, and it's also in our bio for the Facebook and Instagram and things of that nature. If you like what you saw, guys, please support us. Please comment, like, subscribe on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. We've been told many times that it's almost like a museum where you can buy things. That's one of the most wonderful compliments that we've received. Please come out, relive a childhood, or create a new one here at Second Chance Toys.